All right, I think it is running, and there is my picture. Hi, Emma. I'm going to move that just a minute, and I'm going to move this over where I can see it. And back to there we are. Okay, so that I'm looking at my picture. So I like to start with yellow because it's the lightest color. So I've got some nice water on there and getting that mixed up. And I'm going to put a little bit out here on my palette. Move back a little. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to look at my shapes and try to do this upside down. Okay, so I've got sidewalk line. I've got a big swoop of grass. I'm doing this upside down and backwards. That's pretty good. Okay, now I know how I need to look. Okay, and then I've got my tree trunks coming up here and back here in the back. I've got kind of tree line, and I've got this big white truck. I think I'll ignore these other cars. Okay, so you see I'm just blocking out. So if you need to talk to me, you can turn your mic on to talk to me. Now, I am going to dab a little bit of red into my yellow. And then I'm going to come back here and dab some of my tree because that's yellow-orange. So I'm going to get a little bit of red in there.
I have a question. Are we like outlining with like the yellow?
Okay, I did. I used the yellow to show me where things was. Did I do a hard outline? Or
No.
I did a very light outline. Okay, then I'm going to come in with some blue. Now that blue is way dark for the sky. So I'm going to put more water. And I'm going to dab, because remember we talked about Monet and that they called them dabblers. So I'm adding a lot of water. And I'm really bringing that blue for my sky. That's still a little dark. Okay, so if it's too dark, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my paper towel and dry it up a little bit. That's not too bad sky-wise. Okay, now I'm going to come back with, okay, I need to make some various greens. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to put my more yellow out there and a tiny bit of blue. That's going to make a pretty bright green. And I'm going to look at my thing and I'm going to say that the brightest green is kind of toward the back of that. And then there's a couple of strips of green that I'm seeing that way. And I'll put a few more, kind of clean my brush out that way. Then I'm going to put a little more blue to make it darker green with a little more blue in it. And I'm going to, these shadows that are under my trees, I'm going to come here. So I want to look where it's dark and light. And you see I did not put any detail down at all, did I? Okay, now these trees that are away in the background, they are very dark, but I'm going to do something a little more complex with them. So I'm going to put down this blue-green first, and then I'm going to pull some red in to dull that up. And that's going to make that a really dull, dark back here. But I put that orange down to get those fall colors in to begin with. So a little bit more red. Okay, now here's the tricky spot for my tree trunks. I'm going to take my blue and dabble some blue. And get that shape. Then I'm going to dabble some red. Red and blue, of course, make purple. Then I'm going to dabble some yellow on it, cleaning my brush so that I'm not getting my colors dirty. If I mix all three primaries together there, I should get a brown. And up close, I'm going to see all of those colors. But from a little ways away, it's going to mix in your eye. That's called optical color mixing. And that's very much like digital photography works now. Have you ever blown a picture up so you could see the pixels?
I've never done that.
You got to try that sometime. The pixels will be square when you blow them up big enough. Okay, I think I need some more yellow. And Monet was seen like that back way before pixels were even thought of. But photography was there. So he could kind of see where photography works upon light. So he was using it. But of course, there was not color photography when he was doing, it's darker than I like. So I'm going to dab some more yellow, and then I'm going to dab some more red to get orange. And with the watercolor, it's a little less control, but I knew that that would be easy to send you home. So, am I clinging to hard outlines? No, I'm dabbing and I'm looking at where it's light and where it's dark. And this is, on my photograph, a big area of gray. And I'm going to come back up here to my thing and have a lot of blue, a little bit of red, and rinsing my brush out between colors, and some yellow. And I want that to get gray. Okay, then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put my finger there and I'm going to tap some splashes so it's kind of a little bit like concrete. And then I can come up and I can move that. See how pale that is? That was a little bit better way. My sky got too dark. And I do not know how my time is running here. Okay. So this is really more a sketch than a real finished painting. We'll do some paintings next week when you come back, and we probably will use a little bit of tempera for that, which is a little bit thicker paint that's closer to what Monet did. And I'm kind of quit right now. Slide that in there. And I kind of need to let some areas dry. I can come back with my paper towel again. And lighten up. Okay, I kind of like that. Now I think I'm going to go back for my tree trunks. They're too blue, aren't they? So I'm going to make some orange here. Red and yellow. Make some orange. Oh, that's closer to brown now, isn't it? And then get just a little bit. Yeah, that's better brownish in there. Now, I'd probably, if I was outside with the sun shining on this would dry out real fast. So I probably would let this dry a little bit, and then I'd come back in with more orange. Okay, so I'm going to pull up here and I am going to